Welcome to Session 3 and the Cultural Self-Assessment. In this module, we will be discussing the expectations for the cultural self-assessment and the presentation. So you may be asking yourself, why am I doing this assignment? Well, the reason why is I want you to look deeply at other cultures and also start to think deeply about your own. It's really important that we begin to think about how culture influences a person's life, their understanding of disability, how it cultivates empathy and understanding. And it's going to help us think about how this will influence our relationships with families and children. Now, we're going to use this information as well to start to build a culturally relevant lesson plan. And that is going to take place in Module 6. But this is the building blocks. So we really want to get some idea of the cultures that we're looking at. We also want to get some idea about our own belief system and how that influences thinking about other cultures and different aspects of education, family, and disability. Asking you to do is I'm asking you to read the chapter in the Lynch and Hansen book, which most closely resembles your own ethnic heritage. Now, some people have reported that they were not able to find their own ethnic heritage in this book, in a way that was adequately representative of what they believed their own experiences were like. So that's fine. If you want to grab some other sources, as long as they're academic, which means that you've gotten them, that they're not Wikipedia entries. We want something that's comes from an academic journal or book. Then please feel free to do so. Just make sure that you reference them properly in APA format. Now, once you've done that, you're going to read a chapter about another cultural group which interests you. Some people have chosen cultural groups that are more prevalent in their own classrooms and schools. Some have picked cultures that they've never heard about or thought about before. It's really up to you. Well, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be comparing these two groups. Now, some people have reported when they started to read in Lynch and Hansen, when they looked at it with more detail, that they found some discrepancies, or they felt that it did not adequately represent the groups they were exploring. Be critical if you think that that's something that needs to be brought out when you discuss what you're reading. And as I said, always feel free to bring in additional resources. Now, once you start to study these two cultural groups, and you may think, I know my own culture, I don't have to study this, but I want you to take a deep dive. I want you to start thinking deeply about some questions. So one of the things that I want you to think about is I want you to think about beliefs, values, and practices. How does that influence family? How does that influence disability? And I want you to take a deep think about these. So we have some questions listed. How do both cultures address family and disability or delays? How do you think what hurdles would there be in addressing a disability in both cultures? What would be the best communication tools to reach the family now that you know about their culture? Are there any other factors that interest you? And describe your own personal response to the chapter's description of your own cultural background. So really start to think about, does that sound right? Is that how I feel? And if you had to bring in additional materials at this point, you can talk about the fact that you use these materials because they did closely resemble them and why you found them so representative of what you were doing and of your own culture. Now, we say a 4 to 7 page paper, and I hate to put page numbers on things. What I'm looking for you to do is really take a deep dive, really start to really think about culture. So sometimes we see another culture and we put a little Band-Aid on it. I'm asking you to think deeply, to look deeply, and do some exploration. Now, the next part of this assignment is the presentation, where you will be asked to create a 3 to 5 minute presentation about your assessment. We will be doing this via Canvas video, and there will be another video that will instruct you how to use Canvas and the right way to do it so you can do a video. You also can do a YouTube as well. Now, why do we do presentations in this class? one reason is for you to begin to think of dynamic ways to present information to an audience. So you are going to have a lot of times in your career where you're going to have to present things to administration, to other teachers, to parents, and children, of course. And you're going to have to think of ways to be dynamic about this, to get their attention and hold their attention. That's some of the reasons I do the videos the way I do. I want you to find this information interesting, and I want you to present it in an interesting way. So try to get away from just reading PowerPoint cards. Think about how do you grab the audience's attention, whether the audience be parents, teachers, children, any of them. This is the point to shine. Another reason is the point of getting a master's degree in education is that you can be dynamic in the classroom, which means as a teacher, the children are going to be really interested in what you have to say. And you're going to be competing with a lot of different things. We're constantly competing with television, with social media. So children are seeing things that are getting them very excited very quickly. I want you to start to build on that. I want you to start to engage children in ways that are very interesting. Another is to give you firsthand experience with the use of technology in your classroom. When you go into any elementary school, you encounter smart boards, you encounter electronic assessment equipment. So you're going to have to really start getting comfortable with technology. So I'm going to be expecting that of you, especially because this is an online class. So my biggest advice to you is get it in on time. If you're late on any of the assignments, especially these big ones, you're going to lose points. So I want you to be successful. So take a look at the rubric. Before you turn it in, make sure you've covered every single point on our rubric. Have fun, and I can't wait to see what you create.